Hey guys. Okay, so I actually already shot this video, and I was explaining that I was having camera issues, and sure enough, it was off. So this is actually part 2, or a reshoot of that. But I wanted to talk to you guys about my new record player. This is a U-Turn Audio Orbit Plus turntable. And one of the things that I saw about this company, they actually started on Kickstarter. And they wanted to make a turntable that is, you know, high-end audiophile type, but, you know, under the $300 price range or somewhere thereabout. And, you know, I did get to looking because $300 was my limit. That's as far as I wanted to go. I don't want to go too much. I don't want to get too insane with this because you can spend $100,000 on a turntable, which when I first saw that, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So there's a level of insanity when it comes to turntables and stuff like that, and that's a level of insanity I'm just not willing to go to. So I had a couple in mind, and this just stood out to me. I really like the simplicity of it, and this is the Orbit Plus, and you know, this is actually acrylic under here, and so I can turn it on, and it's a very quiet turntable. You know, it's got the motor over here so that the motor is not directly connected to the turntable itself or to the spindle. So it's nice and quiet. And if you want to change speeds, you just move this belt over there and it's no problem. So, and like I did this on my Facebook, I took a picture of this, and what's cool is with the bias lighting I've got behind the TV, the lighting comes through the platter. So that's kind of that's an unexpected benefit. It was just a little cool factor that I was kind of excited about. Another thing is, these here are not, these are just extra. I put those there for a reason. I'll show you there in a sec, but this is the little clip that holds it, but that's the cover for the stylus. But I put these here keep it, oh well, anyway, I put that there to keep the lid up a little bit higher because I gotta wait for it. And this didn't come with it, this is just my own thing. And what I found is that this thing fits under here just perfectly, except with a record on there, it brings it up just enough to make contact. So that was my mistake in buying the weight. There's nothing wrong with the record player, but I put this on there, it keeps it up just enough to where it's not an issue. So that's what I've been doing, is checking this thing out. I've played a few records on it. I can't go and tell you guys, oh, this is the best record player on the planet, because I'm just getting used to it. It's not even past its break-in point. And as I've said before, this is the first time I've gotten into vinyl in over 20 years. So this is like brand new for me. And so I'm trying to figure out this whole vinyl craze, if it's worth getting into or if it's not. And I think when it comes to that, I think the question is, does it interest you? Does the idea of putting a record on a turntable and dropping the stylus and letting it play, does that sound good to you? Because if it doesn't sound good to you, I would say pass, you know. There's a lot of benefits to vinyl and stuff like that, but it's the experience more than anything else. But I've got to say that the sound, I've played a few albums and I've really enjoyed what I've heard so far. I have Diana Krall's new album, Turn Up the Quiet, and I think that is a fantastic album for this type of setup. It's amazing. You know, I've got the PB16 Ultras here, okay, so 2 of them. So I'm running, for those of you that are kind of new to the channel, that is, you know, 3,000 watts RMS combined and 10,000 watts peak of subwoofer. So the issue of needle skipping is real. And I've got a couple things to help combat that. I've got isolation on the PB16 Ultras, and the main reason is because I have a wood floor, and wood floor will transfer, whereas like a concrete floor, you don't have to worry about it really. The other thing is that this has some isolation itself. The turntable has a little bit of isolation. I actually bought a nice big thick foam pad, and I actually see it right now. But I bought it because it had the exact dimensions of the turntable, so it would fit just perfectly under it. But I decided to play it without that first to see if I even needed it, and sure enough, I did not need it. At least at my listening levels and the amount of bass that I'm seeing now. I haven't tried playing any West Coast rap or anything through it, so I'm kind of curious how that would actually turn out. But I do know that Diana Krall, her music is very bassy, and there's a lot of upright bass. And while I'm playing it and listening to it at good levels, I'm feeling it. It's not like, oh, it's nice and soft and gentle. No, I'm feeling that upright bass. It's in the room. So there's plenty of sonic energy coming out, and it sounds great. I gotta say, having the really low distortion is really nice because you can hear everything. Anyway, I just haven't had the issue with skipping, and I really thought I would. I expected if there was going to be a time, it'd be when I have 10 kilowatts of peak subwoofer power in the room that would have problems with skipping. But so far, it hasn't been that bad. I haven't tried playing 1812 or anything like that. That's notorious for skipping. But, so I was worried about that. Hasn't been an issue, so that's pleasant. Another couple of things that I think you guys should understand, for those of you that are kind of looking to get into it, and for those of you that already know this, but if your amplifier has a phono input that's labeled phono, it's already got a preamp in it. So you don't need to get a turntable with a preamp. So this one does not have a preamp. I'm just running it directly into the Denon, and it's perfect. I did not need to spend the extra money on a preamp. Another thing is this Q lever. Really nice. When it drops nice and smooth, and it just comes down, contacts it. It's nice. You're not dropping it. It's a nice gentle setting, and so it sets nicely. And with that weight, the records are nice and flat. I've played it a few times without the weight, and the records tend to wave a little bit more. But with that weight, it's a lot flatter. And you can get even more advanced and get these rings that go around the outside of the album and really hold it down. But that weight does a pretty good job. It was like $30 on Amazon. Not bad. It's a weight I would recommend, but with the Orbit, it's one of those issues where you have to put these little things just to lift up the cover up just a little bit to make it sound good, or to keep it from contacting the lid and slowing down. So that's one issue I had. But overall, I've got to say, again, I'm not super experienced. I mean, it's been over 20 years since I've tried this. But a couple things I got to say. That Diana Krall album sounds really, really nice. I haven't done actual A/B comparison between Spotify and the turntable. I need to actually, the needle needs to break in a bit. Can't talk, guys, sorry. The needle needs to break in a bit more before I can really do some serious A/B testing. But the noise floor on this thing is nice and low. And I can't compare it to anything else. I haven't heard anything else. But I expected the noise floor to be a bit higher. Your noise floor being when there's nothing playing, when it's on, but it's not playing itself, but there's still something in the stylus. There's not a lot of noise when you just turn it up. I thought there would be. And going between tracks and stuff like that, and when it's supposed to be quiet on the record itself, I'm surprised how quiet it is. And again, that has to do, with some of the components, how the turntable is built, but also how clean your albums are. If your albums are dirty, you're going to get clicking and popping and a bunch of static. So I had one album, it was real dirty, brand new, out of the plastic, put it on the turntable, dirty. So that one was clicky and poppy, but the Diana Krall album was not. You should probably still clean them before you play them, but it was pretty darn clean. I got very, very little dust on it in terms of what I could hear, as compared to the other album that was dirty. So anyway, I'm getting into this. I'm enjoying it. I was curious about it. I was thinking, I would like to try this. Now, should you go out and do this because I'm saying so? It really depends on the interest level. I think that's what it really boils down to. If you're really interested in records and stuff like that, I think it's fun. As far as how much better it is and all that other stuff, I think there are going to be examples where vinyl is better than CD or digital, and there's going to be examples where CD is better than vinyl. So how much are you gaining, how much are you losing, it's debatable. What I can say is that with this setup, I'm very pleased with the way it sounds. I think it's a great quality player. Again, these guys, U-Turn, they started on Kickstarter, and they just wanted to build something that's audiophile quality, but affordable for most people. You know, you can spend $100 on a turntable, but the problem is it's going to sound like a $100 turntable or less. It's not going to sound great. This turntable, from what I've seen, competes with some turntables that are over, I'll say, at least $500, in some cases higher. Again, I am not a super turntable aficionado, but from what I've seen, components and the reviews, what other people think of them, I think this is a pretty solid player for $300. Again, my big thing would be, you know, the phono, figure out whether you need that or not. And I do like, you know, the cueing lever, because I get a little shaky when I'm not feeling good, and I could see myself dropping the needle, or I could see that being really frustrating. This way I put it where I want it and then just drop the cue lever. It's quite nice. So anyway, that's the new turntable. Let me know what you guys think. It's been kind of a fun thing. If you guys have any tips or tricks or ideas for me, I'm all for it. Someone told me about this bias lighting. It's been a lot of fun for $20. I'll do another video on how I set that up and all that. So, but if you guys have any advice or things like that, I want to keep it in the sane realm. So if you tell me I need to get a $2,000 DAC, I'm going to tell you probably not. But just little things, you know. I haven't bought a record washer yet, so that's an idea if you guys have any ideas on that. But I don't know, kind of having fun with it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to get, I actually did the video on the PB16 Ultras. I said something where I really disagree with myself, so I need to reshoot it. And as I mentioned in the beginning part of this, my camera has been really screwy. I don't even know if this video is going to come out. But it's at least 2 videos, if not 3, on the PB16 Ultras. So I need to get that resolved. That's going to happen this week. So I've been just putting this off, and I'm terribly sorry. Again, I actually had it shot, but it's not right. So I apologize for that. I know it's been forever, but I want to do it right. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.